I'm glad that there are people actually playing. So we've got Withered Crossroads, RedHat56 versus Nipper87. Okay, here we go. So, Red Hat is our orange human, and over here in the red trunks, as Total Biscuit likes to say, is Nipper87, our red human. I just said red twice, didn't I? Nice. This is actually my favorite color scheme for humans, this black and yellow. And I don't know. Tell me what you think about these more symmetrical maps. This one in particular, I think starts out kind of boring, but once you open up these paths, it gets more exciting. I've seen some decent matches on this. There's a nice big base area for humans. I don't think it's great for goo. I'm not sure. Let's actually see. So yeah, I think you can actually see up a lot of this. It's just not a lot of good places for goo players to hide. Okay, both players scouting long ways. And I've never seen two players spawn at the top and bottom like that, so we'll have to see. Okay, so we've got double refinery out here for Nipper, and for for Red Hat, and for Nipper we've got the same thing. So this, we know it's a long match, and it's certainly shaping up to be one from the outset. I've already talked about the map, and we're a little ways from scouting each other. The Tridents are going to meet here, and Red Hat is going to just ignore his opponent. And then Nipper is going to eventually give up and carry on with things. Okay, poor Red Hat has guessed wrong twice. Well, I think no, in fact, both players are guessing wrong twice. Okay, we've got our first factory coming out for Red Hat, and our first two factories for Nipper. I think Nipper's going to stall himself out a little bit there. I think he could have been a little more patient. No harm, no foul, I guess, but it's just going to be a little... Oh, that's not good. I don't think that's... Well, I guess he's got the economy to do it now. He's got his third and fourth factories coming out, while Red Hat over here just has the one for the time being. Nipper still does not know where his opponent is, and Red Hat is about to scout. Nipper, I don't think he's going to like what he sees. And Red Hat is sitting on way too many resources. He needs to be doing something. Loho, I'm not going to not going to disagree with you 100%. Goo is my favorite faction, and I'd love for them to be a little overpowered, but personally, I don't consider myself good enough to comment on the overall balance. But I do have a ton of trouble with Goo in general. Okay, so Red Hat has a refinery with no extractor and is building sentinels instead of factories. So, despite the fact that I'm kind of rooting for him because I like the color of his I get the point, but he just doesn't have enough firepower to kill these harvesters. Okay, so we got a little force coming out already from Nipper, and Red Hat needs to make something happen. He's got a slight economic advantage, I think. Yeah, he's got one refinery up, but no production. And, okay, he's moving that sentinel so we can build another factory. Good, because you're going to need all the help you can get in a second. Nipper's come across the map with 12 units against the 4 of Red Hat. You need more factories, sir. Let's make that happen. Those two sentinels are going to help, but it's going to just forestall the inevitable. Nipper is getting his third refinery, and finally a second factory out here for Red Hat. Let's see what happens. So we've got some light economic harassment going on here by Nipper, and Red Hat is just kind of grouping up right now. A lot of forces over here for Nipper. Red Hat forced to pull back. Yeah, I think we're not going to be able to see any income off of this extractor anytime soon. Although, Red Hat is sitting on 1,000 resources. Gladius starting to come out. Nice. Over here, no tech yet that I can see, and Nipper is stalling out his economy in a major way. Okay, so I think these Gladius are going to help, but still a really bad position for poor Red Hat to be in. No real way to make use of these 2 refineries right now until he manages to push his opponent back. Looks like Nipper is starting to. Let's go into Nipper's view. Nipper's trying to open up this shorter path here across the map for his forces. I think that's a good effort, but these units probably could have been useful in doing that. I mean, these are free, but that's a little bit of a waste of time and energy. Let's go over to Red Hat. Okay, well, with these 2 Gladius and sufficient forces at their turrets at his disposal, he's going to be okay, I think. Could use another factory, or 2, or 3, even. Production's way too slow for Red Hat right now. I mean, he's got these Gladius coming out, which is nice. But if you look at the force sizes, I still have that open down here. 34 total units for Nipper and only 12 for Red Hat. Well, at least he'll be able to... No, if you're going to do that, defend yourself. Nipper choosing not to... Very poorly, I think. Choosing not to go harass this extractor. Letting his opponent go. No, okay, fine. He decides that that's worthwhile after all. A little bit of force splitting. I actually wish more players would do this, their forces up even slightly. You don't see a lot of players doing some force splitting. Okay, looks like we've got our 3rd refinery finally coming up. And no tech yet still. Nipper is concentrating a little too heavily on this harassment from this army. It's paying off for him short term, but I think Red Hat's going to slowly start coming back into this. Although I wish to God he'd build another factory. You need another factory. Go back to all players view. That down Gladius is a bit of a loss, but if Red Hat is careful, he's going to be able to come back out of this. Let's see. Still, if I were Nipper, I'd be teching into anything. I would just pause one of these factories and tech up to Gladius or something. Get air units. I'd throw him for a loop. He needs to make something happen on the back of this. His strategy is a short-term one. This army is meant to just overwhelm his opponent, and opening up this path would half or more than half his travel time, and he's making no real effort to open that up. It's a real shame. Finally, we have a large factory coming out from Red Hat. I think 2 small factories would have helped him more up to this point. But that force is being whittled away, and our unit chart is looking a little more even. Slowly, we see more and more units for Red Hat and fewer for Nipper. And Nipper really needs to do something with all these resources he's getting all of a sudden. While Red Hat is getting pretty close to cutting this harassment off entirely, this contain off entirely. So very nice. We have four refineries from Red Hat, another tank attachment coming out for maximum Gladiusness. So all in all, Red Hat managed to hold it off pretty well. He's still got an economy. He's got a better army, if not a bigger one at this point. So, and Nipper's finally pulling back. Good job. Got a Gladius there that could take. There you go. Yeah, he's pushed him back. He may try to regroup here with his reinforcements. Red Hat, don't attack into brush. Bit of a misplay on Red Hat's part there. Still nothing happening here for Nipper. Got a tank attachment for these two, not bad. But really could use another refinery or two. You've got the resources for it, sir. That's the sad part. If Nipper ends up losing this, it's going to be because he decided that he didn't want any more refineries. Stopped at 3. And Red Hat definitely has a big enough force to stop this now. Definitely. Very well done by Red Hat. And he's actually building an economy on top of this, getting some air units. We're preparing to get air units. Do we have? No, we've only got 3 attachments, so he couldn't do an avatar if he wanted. Or, not avatar. I'm thinking avatar of Kane, but it's the alpha. He couldn't build an alpha if he wanted. He may have to restructure his base slightly. I think he can kind of come out from here, but... Okay, that's nifty. Using this tank attachment to build another large factory. All these little tricks with human base design that I never would have thought of. And still, okay, finally we see a 4th refinery coming out here for Nipper. I would build a 5th one, but finally have Gladius coming out. Very nice use of the brush here. I mean, only 1 unit, but still. Red Hat doesn't know that. Getting caught there in the choke a little bit. Nipper's still showing very good control with his units. And, okay, nice. We have an expansion up here, and it took almost 10 minutes, but these rocks are finally about to come down. So I think this is a 13 pool. No, it's only 10, I guess. But still, he's opening up this path, at least starting to. You can take advantage of this pool of 13 up here, open up a back way into his opponent's base. A lot of options there. Pulling back for the time being, Nipper. And a lot of Gladius out right now for Red Hat. Still has a smaller force, but way more Gladius, although Nipper's got a ton of Tridents. Okay, air pads starting to come out. Let's see. I wonder if he's going to go for scimitars or if he's going to go for scythes. I can't remember both unit names right off the top of my head. I wonder if he's going to go for bombers or fighters. Scythes? Yeah, I think scythes. Scythes and scimitars. Okay, finally deciding to open up this back path. I think that's an excellent choice. We've got the entire army up here. And forcing Red Hat to split his force between this and this, even sneaking just a couple of units back here, I think, would do a lot of damage. Even psychological damage of being on the back foot. Let's see, I'm going to check the structures tab real quick. Nothing going on right now. Okay, so they've got the same number of refineries, which I think is actually a count against Nipper, because he could have really been building up his economy this whole time. And Red Hat building up a huge pool of resources here. Starting to eat into that a little bit, but yeah, that's just inefficient. He could be. Got some scouts coming out, very nice, and we have gone for scimitars. Good. Are we getting any upgrades? Cloaking system's not a bad choice. Oh. Got some combat going on up here, or some maneuvering at least. He could have done that better, he really could have. But we've got monitors out now, and his window has passed. No, that's not going to work. Scimitars, yeah. He really needs to get the air tech upgrade that lets them drop mines. We saw that before in another replay that I cast, where that was used very effectively against the goo. Okay, so our Red Hat is a very commanding tech position, while actually now finally having a larger army than his opponent, and a much more diverse force. We've got daggers in there, we've got scimitars, and let's see. I think this is not going to go well for Nipper going forward. Nipper starting to get air, but is already behind. No real advantage against his opponent at this point. I think we still have the same number of refineries. So Red Hat, this is his game to lose right now. And with all those Gladius, he's in definitely in the better position in my opinion. Not really using those daggers. These daggers would be great against the brush play that Nipper's been engaging in. So daggers, unlike Radiants, can't see up hills or into brush, but when they attack, it tags a unit, for those who don't know, and then it gains vision of that unit even if it's up hills or in brush. Great anti-goo unit, also useful for the, like I said, the brush play that Nipper's been engaging in. Back to the Forces tab. Huge Gladius lead for Red Hat at this point, but disappointing that he's not teching. Disappointing that he's not teching more. And, big boo-boo here. Look at all those Gladius just sitting there doing absolutely nothing. Also, this would be a great opportunity for Red Hat to actually break out and start harassing or coming around this path and coming up in here. There's no defenses, I don't think. So he could actually make something happen. Still really poor resource management by Red Hat, unfortunately, but I think he's still going to pull this off. I think it's, like I said, it's his game to lose. Okay, yes, they are scythes and scimitars. Very good choice to bring out these scythes. I think that really has brought Nipper back into this game. Finally, he realizes he's got a bunch of tanks over here. Oh boy. I've seen some players say that the Gladius is just too all-around good of a unit. I think there's a little bit of merit to that. Right now, I mean, there's no reason for him to get anything besides Gladius. It's a great frontline tank, and I don't think there's anything wrong with building them, but I just don't think there's a lot of call. You know, Trident revolver play is possible. I guess you could get Trident's revolvers and then high-tech units, but I don't really see players doing that. So I'm not sure what to say there. I mean, the Gladius is a great tank. Very nice, mixing some longbows in. I think there's nothing wrong with having the Gladius be the primary battle unit for the humans, so long as there's always a reason to mix in other units. In fact, I'd almost like to see him throw in some Lancers or some Howitzers to break up this rather light unit heavy force that we see from Nipper. Oh, look at that army, how those army sizes have changed. Way overcommitted. Oh, I missed some harassment here. We've got about half his base completely unpowered. He should really do something about that. Pause something, maybe. Let him, I don't, does he realize that half of his base is unpowered? Boy. Very good job, Red Hat. I don't know when that happened, but that was the center, I think. Can't get any, finally replaces that conduit cross, but a little late for it to matter. 60 units right now from Red Hat. So kind of a low eco match overall, since it's about to end, and I think we know who's going to win. It drops out. Kind of low eco. I was expecting more economics, but exciting actually. Human versus human. I was expecting a lot more build-up, but we kind of got into it right away. I enjoyed that match personally, and I hope you did as well.